Think about the funniest moment you've ever had in a video game. Chances are, it wasn't because of some perfect cutscene or scripted event, it was probably with your friends. Maybe it was that one friend screaming in terror as his mic fades into the distance, or perhaps the awkward silence when that one friend's terrible internet cuts out on them mid-sentence. That's the magic of proximity chat, a feature that's transformed gaming into something way more alive and unpredictable than traditional voice chat ever could. In recent years, it's exploded to new heights. From Lethal Company and Repo Clips dominating TikTok, to Roblox and Fortnite adopting it into their games, to indie horror games becoming viral hits because of it. Proximity chat has gone from a niche survival game gimmick to one of the most fun parts of multiplayer games. Proximity chat has a long history. Before the days of Among Us and Phasmophobia, it actually traces back to military sim games like Arma and DayZ. The main goal of these military sims was realism over everything else. So the introduction of proximity chat worked flawlessly for the realism and immersion of the players. At the time, proximity chat was a very niche thing. People often preferred platforms like TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, and later Discord when that eventually exploded in popularity. These platforms were a lot more reliable and easier for users due to the struggle on servers, as well as mics being a lot less popular back in the day. However, these military sims would provide the blueprints for voice chat sound design, leaping 2D into 3D. Then came the shift into the mainstream. Back during the pandemic in 2020, a little-known game by the name Among Us took the internet by storm. Though the game never had an official proximity chat, a mod called Better Crew Link completely reinvented the game. Proximity chat made it so that you could whisper as you snuck up on someone, or you could hear nearby shouts when an imposter would make a move. Tiny audio details such as this made the normally boring rounds where people would typically mute in Discord calls into something infinitely funnier and far more chaotic than what was possible with the base game. Phasmophobia took this concept even further when it dropped in September 2020. In this ghost hunting simulator, Prox Chat was a core mechanic. You had to use your voice to interact with the ghosts, and if your teammates might cut out mid-sentence, it wasn't their Wi-Fi, it was most likely them getting attacked. Moments like that went viral on platforms like Twitch. And lastly, there's VR Chat. VR Chat has been around the longest of all these games. VR Chat's whole game is based on proximity chat, and also other things, but that's besides the point. The reason it's so compelling is that proximity chat makes these spaces feel like more than just a chat room. You could get funny encounters, late-night deep discussions, and even confessions from strangers that you'll never meet. Without the personal nature of proximity chat, VR chat would simply never exist. But why did all these games get so popular? Real quick, before we explain why these games got so popular, make sure to subscribe. It's free and it really helps the channel. The pandemic supercharged proximity chat in ways no one expected. Suddenly, everyone was stuck at home. No parties, no hanging out. Discord calls were fun, but they were missing the ambience that a late night with the boys brings. Proximity chat felt like being in a room with people, and you could basically do whatever you wanted in there too. In the middle of isolation, experiences like that were priceless. That's why games like VR Chat and Phasmophobia took off in the way they did, because they gave people a way to be present and interact with each other in a way that was only possible with proximity chat. By 2023 and 2024, proximity chat wasn't just a neat feature, it was one of the biggest features driving viral gaming moments on social media. Lethal Company went from a small indie project to a cultural phenomenon due to clips of terrified players screaming through hallways and running from monsters. Similarly, Repo turned into a similar content farm after the I Love Her clip spread rapidly across social media. Even Peak caught the wave due to its simplistic art style and streamers' proximity chat moments going viral. Then, Roblox and Fortnite have now added proximity chat into their games. What was once a niche gimmick, only seen in military sims, exploded onto the scene in a way that no one could have expected. So, what makes proximity chat so special? Well, proximity chat brings three main boosts to a game. It creates authentic and unscripted moments, it creates almost complete immersion, and it's entirely unpredictable. Some of the funniest proximity chat moments are hilarious because no one could plan them. The authenticity of it is what makes it so valuable for a game to have. Similarly, hearing someone scream from a distant room compared to yelling at full volume in a Discord call creates a totally different experience. Lastly, you just don't know what'll happen in a lobby with proximity chat. It just makes the game feel so much more alive and unpredictable. Looking forward, proximity chat will only grow more. Indie games will keep experimenting with it as a game mechanic, and AAA developers will slowly start to implement proximity chat into more of their games. Imagine a game like Elden Ring, but with expanded proximity chat. In multiplayer, it wouldn't just be a silent 1v1. Instead, it would add tension in ways From Software hasn't seen before. However, this future ultimately is still messy. Moderating proximity chat is very hard, and it opens the door to harassment and vulgar language. There also comes a point where there could be too much censorship to where proximity chat loses the spark that made it fun in the first place. Publishers will need to build tools to balance authenticity with safety, but if done right, the payoff could be massive. Proximity chat offers something that many online games simply lack: ambience. Games don't have to be hyper-polished to connect with people. Sometimes all they need is just a soul, a way for people to interact authentically. Think back on your favorite memory for a second, and odds are it came from laughing with friends or even panicking together in a horror game. Proximity chat allows gaming to bring back that couch co-op vibe that's been slowly fading out for far too long. Even if friends are across the country, across the world, or even down the street, proximity chat makes it feel like they're right beside you. That's why it isn't just a feature. Instead, it's a reminder of what makes games worth playing in the first place. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.